Hey everyone, welcome back from spring break. I hope it was relaxing. I hope everyone is safe and get to spend some time with your families. I know it's not the spring break that would be ideal where we go out and play or travel, but it was a nice little break for us to have. Before we start today's lesson, I just want to say that your grade for marking period 4 while we're doing distance learning will be comprised of about around 4 classwork assignments a week at 10 points each, and then 1 assessment every week. Quiz assessments will count at 50 points, and test assessments, end of unit assessments will count for 100 points. So it is essential that you do your classwork. If you do your classwork, it will essentially make up a fair amount of your grade. So that way, even if you don't do well on the assessments, you'll still do fine marking period 4. Okay? You know that you can always reach out to me if you have any questions via email. We're going to be doing some pre-recorded lessons. We're going to be doing some live lessons. Our live lessons will be on Wednesday, so make sure that you come on Google Meet on Wednesday mornings during our period 2 class time, and we'll do a lesson there. And I also will have office hours on Thursday during periods 1 and 2. So if you need any help on Thursdays, you can come in periods 1 and 2. I'll be working with students. You can ask your questions. I can work with you. Usually if one student has a question, another one does also. So please take advantage of that. All right. Today's homework assignment is for you to watch an Edpuzzle video that you will see at the end of today's lesson. It's uploaded to Google Classroom. Hopefully you did not hopefully you didn't watch that yet, but if you did, it's fine. And then also an IXL 8.z.3, which is also linked in Google Classroom, okay? So so click on that and complete that as an 85% SMART score to get credit for that assignment. Today we're going to talk about domain and range, and before we do, we're just going to do a really brief lesson or a little brief warm-up where we are identifying the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate of each point. So point A, we can see, is here. This has an x value of -2 and a y value of +3. Now we can write that as an ordered pair, -2, 3. Okay? B has an x value of 0 and a y value of 4, making it an ordered pair of 0, 4. C has an x value of 4 and a y value of 1, making it 4, 1. D has an x value of 3 and a y value of 0, so it's the point 3, 0. E is -1, -2. And F is 4, -4. So hopefully that was a nice little review for you. We are working with X's and Y's today, so that's why we did this as a warm-up. Okay? All right. Today, we're going to start with identifying domain and range. So here, we've got a mean, gnarly alligator right here. And the table below shows the ages and lengths of 5 alligators. So the 2-year-old alligator that they have is 32 inches long. The 4-year-old alligator is 59 inches long. The 5-year-old alligator is 65 inches long. Another 5-year-old alligator is 69 inches long, and a 7-year-old alligator is 96 inches long. Okay? Now, you'll notice that they labeled these with an X and a Y, which means we can write these as ordered pairs. So this one would be the ordered pair 232. This would be the ordered pair 459. This would be 565. This would be 569. And this would be 796. Okay? The ordered pairs, all of these ordered pairs form what are called a relation. Okay? And a relation is a pairing of numbers in one set. So you'll notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ordered pairs in this set. That's the relation. Okay. We have two parts. We have the domain and we have the range. And we're going to be talking about each of those today. And the input is the domain, and the output is the range. Now, the inputs are x coordinates. So if the input is an x, then that means the domain is the x value, and the outputs are the y coordinates, which means if the output is the range, then the range are y values. Okay, so that's a simple way of remembering it, and I'm going to add one more thing in here because it's part of your ed puzzle, but I'm going to add it anyway, and that is that your input, which is your domain, which is your x, is going to be your independent variable, and your output, which is your range, which is your y value, is going to be your dependent. And we talked about that in class, okay? But now you know that all four of these go together and all four of these go together. So input goes with output. Input is another, domain is another word for input. Domain goes with range. X is the domain. X goes with y. And the independent variable is the x value, which is which goes with the dependent variable, which is the y value. Okay? So, if you are asked to identify the domain and range of a relation given above, I copied the, so if we go back up here, the domain would be 2, 4, 5, and 7. Notice how we didn't have to repeat the 5. We don't have to say that we have 2, 5 values. We just have 2, 4, 5, and 7, and the range is 32, 59, 65, 69, and 96. So that's how we'd write it. We'd write it as the domain is 2, 4, 5, and 7, and the range is 32, 59, 65, 69, and 96. Okay? Here, we're asked to identify the domain and range of this table. So the domain is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the range is 23, 36, 47, 61, and 73. And here it is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the domain, 23, 36, 47, 61, 73 for the range. Okay? Domain and range is really that simple. So here, the domain for number 1 is 0, 2, 3, and 5. And the range, we want to put it in order. Okay, so see how it's 1, 4, 7, 4? Now we only have to put it as 1, 4, and 7, but we just want to put it in numerical order. Okay, so here for number 2, when we have the domain, we see that it's -1, -3, 6, and -1. Obviously, we don't have to repeat the -1 when we're writing the domain, but we also want to write it from least to greatest. So it's going to be -3, -1, and 6, since -3 is the lowest number. And for the range, we've got 2, -1, 0, and 4. The lowest number is -1, followed by 0, followed by 2, followed by 4. So you notice the domain and the range, while they're giving the x values and the y values, they're not giving them together as an ordered pair anymore. We're just listing what the x and y values are. Okay? All right. Now at this time, we're going to talk more about domain and range tomorrow as it relates to functions, okay, which we haven't talked about yet. We're going to talk about how domain and range relate to functions. but now we're going to talk about, or I want you to learn about independent and dependent variables. So I want you to go onto Google Classroom, and I want you to click on the Ed Puzzle assignment. I want you to watch that independent and dependent variable video. Remember to answer the questions along the way. That Ed Puzzle video counts as part of your grade for today, okay? So your grade for today is both the Ed Puzzle and the IXL. So after you watch the Ed Puzzle, complete the IXL, and those will be your grades for today. All right? Good luck, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions.